America's premier fabricators of orthotics and prosthetics. And Redwood Darts, America's newest tungsten darts. Stand straight and tall and hit them all. Redwood Darts. And now, here are your hosts, Mystery Mark and Steve P.
Okay, welcome to Dirt Talk.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hi. Long time no see.
Sorry about last week, kids. Personal day.
Yeah.
Dirt
Birthdays.
Talk.
Birthday celebrations for some people.
That's right.
Yeah. Yours is coming up.
Turning 28 is frightening.
Celebrated early. Celebrated my mom's birthday, so we missed the show.
Yeah, but thanks, everybody, for tuning in this week. Dart Talk brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
TheDartZone.com is an official console distributor. A lot to get to. We got CDC results from a couple of weeks ago. We can go through that. A couple of surprises there, I thought, anyway. So I get this phone call out of the blue from one of the...
I can see Soldier Field.
Oh, yeah.
Right there.
Look, we're up against it. I'm sick. I overslept. So this is going to be a rough show.
Anyway,
Mark's in the middle of a fantasy football draft.
Sorry to interrupt, but go ahead.
He's taking one for the team. Now I get this phone call, and... I don't know. You know how sometimes you're thinking of a plate of shrimp, and then somebody out of the blue says shrimp or plate of shrimp. No reason for it, right? It's from a movie. No, I get a call out of the blue, like up the street from here, at Lawrence in Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are starting some online remote dart league.
Right. You remotely told me.
Right, and he's like, "Oh, you think maybe you'd want to sub?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not falling for that one, but." Thanks for asking. And then,
because inevitably what happens if you sub?
You have to show up every week.
Well, we've only got
that's how it works in Chicago anyway. So literally, I'm not on Facebook anymore, but before I do the show, I have to go on Facebook so I could post a link to the show. Even though the show has been in the same spot for years, people are still like, hey, I couldn't find the show. And I'm like, well, sorry. And there's A5K. The first post I see is A5K talking about like having a rematch with some guy from Joliet, like some remote league, and how he's playing Alex Reyes, and everybody's on Facebook all happy talking. No, it's a great match and everything. And I just got the idea. So you have to at least go and see what this remote league looks like, because it sounded so lame to me, the way it was described, and so many people are enjoying it. Maybe I have the wrong idea, right? So in my mind, what's an online remote dart league? I don't know.
But
some place on Lawrence in Milwaukee. So it's right up the street and it's Wednesday nights, right? So I'm like, okay, so you're in a bar or something, and you're standing around with your teammates like this, looking at the scoreboard to see what the other guy shoots. And then, the machine flips over, and then you throw your darts, you grab them, you walk back, and then, the camera switches or something like that. And I'm just thinking, there's something about this that's just, I don't know. I watched a guy playing it when I was at Darts Live in Vegas a couple of years ago, and I was just like, well, this is sort of weird.
Well, it seems very odd.
It seems
you have to pay more attention, though, than actually you do in league darts.
That might be a good thing.
Nobody pays attention at all if you're not playing or scoring.
Right.
Next thing you know, it's like, oh, hey, did we win? Because people are walking away.
Right.
So at least this way, you might have to actually pay attention.
I don't know how many nights, over the years playing league, where I would play the 8th match out of 9, like the cricket singles. I played cricket in league for forever. And literally everyone would disappear. And it'd just be me and the other guy. And I don't know where they would go, because I'd look at the bar and, they wouldn't even be there. I'm like, maybe I'll want out, down the street. Took a stroll.
Yeah, and
then
it over?
They come back and is it over? Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And I'm kind of like, so what would the remote be like? Like all the people not playing wander away, and you're just staring at a board with some guy somewhere else, and then
right, and nobody to talk to, no nothing,
and I'm just sort of like, I don't know about this.
And how do you turn around and go, is it really my turn? What happens if there's a glitch?
The good thing is that you don't have to fist bump every time you come back from the line from your opponent. I mean, I can live without that.
That's fantastic.
I mean, that's probably good.
Yes.
What if you have to fist bump 3 teammates?
Just in order to throw a dart?
Yeah, every time you got to fist bump everyone. It's like...
Isn't that the worst? It's okay, you diddle. So you fist pump before the diddle. You diddle, you re-diddle, so you fist pump again, and then you diddle, and then you re-diddle, and you fist pump again, and then somebody wins the diddle, and you fist pump to start the match.
It's
the most annoying thing in the world.
It was years ago.
I hate it.
I hate saying years ago, but I guess that's the guy I am now. Roland Schulten. We were playing a match. It was Roland Schulten and somebody, and me and somebody, and I don't remember if it was a blind draw or what, but the guy comes back after the diddle with the darts, hands rolling his dart, and starts with the fist bump. And Roland is a really tall guy. He's really tall and thin. He's I don't know, 6'6", whatever, maybe taller. And he just looks at him. He's he's got kind of an accent, but his English is okay. He's I'll tell you what, I'll give you a fist bump now, and then I'll give you one when the match is over, but then nothing in between. Okay? Guy's yeah, okay. He's all right, good game. Let's go. And I'm just kind of thinking, okay, you're Roland Schulten and you're from out of town, right? If I did that, if I went to some soft tip thing and said, look.
What a jerk.
I'll give you a fist bump at the beginning and a fist bump at the end, but I'm out of it after that. I mean, I'm the biggest jerk in darts if I do that, right? Sure.
Yeah.
Who invented this anyway? Who invented the fist bumping all day long?
That way. People that couldn't shake hands, I guess. I don't know. But it's so annoying.
How about I do this instead?
Yeah.
I'll do this.
For whichever, or stir the pot, whatever. They've got symbols for everything now.
What's this?
I don't know.
Rizzo was doing this.
The pitcher is crying, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. It's confusing. We're in a baseball obsessed part of town.
We should disclaim some things before you.
Oh yeah, we should have disclaimed a little while ago. Yeah. You got the music already. You're oh yeah, sure. Oh, no. Got it already.
I did.
Okay. All right, great.
The music is ready. Now it's just ready to be broadcasted to everybody. Maybe. How many times do I have to hit it?
The views, opinions, rants, and rampages expressed on Dart Talk do not necessarily reflect individually or collectively those of our sponsors, co-sponsors, wannabe hosts, hearing-impaired critics, or those with a penchant for attitudinal dysfunction. We at Dart Talk strive to provide you, the listener, with an educational, entertaining, and fun-filled experience each and every week. If after the show you, the listener, find yourself feeling uneducated, unentertained, and or bored, we at Dart Talk consider that your own problem.
Okay, got that out of the way. So what are we talking about now? We're talking. Are we done with the fist bumping?
Baseball obsessed.
We're in a baseball obsessed part of town, and I'm watching all this baseball. And somebody in the chat room had the temerity to ask, what was the question in the chat room?
Who's going to win the pennant, the Cubs or the Mets?
Did you put the thing about playing with one division tied behind your back?
No.
Okay. The NBA changed their deal. That was announced yesterday. So here's the problem in baseball. In baseball, they have 3 divisions in each half. And the winners of each half meet in the World Series for people that are from out of town. Mm-hmm. Don't understand American baseball. Well, as it stands now, and I don't know if it'll end this way, but the teams with the 3 best records in one half, in the Chicago Cubs half of the league, are all in the same division.
Correct.
So the 3 division leaders are in a best-of-5 series, and then the 4th one will be the winner of a 1-game playoff between the highest...
The next 2 best records.
Right.
Not division winners.
Right, the best records of people that aren't already in. Mm-hmm. And right now, if the season ended today, the New York Mets would play the Los Angeles Dodgers because they're division winners, and then the St. Louis Cardinals would be a division winner, and then they would play the winner of a 1-game playoff in Pittsburgh between the Cubs and the Pirates.
Correct.
And then the winner of the Cubs-Pirates game would have to play the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. So all the 3 best teams are all in the same division, but only one of them can make it to the semis.
Right.
I mean, that's just wrong. how they do that. You know, like your reward for dominating a weak division full of disappointing performances and hurt players, right? Because the Giants are all hurt. And then, I don't know what's with the Nationals. That was the worst trade I've ever seen when they picked up Papelbon.
Yeah,
the whole team fell apart.
Right.
It was very weird. It messed up
Their
the chemistry.
bullpen's awful. But
and then getting Cespedes was really good for the Mets. It gave them a huge adrenaline boost for the entire team. And they want to shut down their pitcher.
Well, yeah, because they got three other good.
Well,
pitchers.
it's not a baseball show, but
I mean, you know, I don't
we
know
talk
if
about
I can,
seeding.
I
We
don't
talk
know if I
about
can
seeding
comment
and
about
stuff like that.
though, because the whole seeding thing, I don't know if it's worth changing it. I mean, it doesn't happen that often that the three best teams are from the same division. You still have to give credit to the team that wins their division.
Well, that's what they did in the NBA. In the NBA, it turned out that the further you went along in the Eastern Conference, the worse the teams were that you were playing. It's not supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be the best. So the NBA announced yesterday that they're going to change their seeding, and it's going to be the best record's the 1 seed, and the second best record's the 2 seed, and so on down the list. So they're not going by whether or not you win your division anymore. They're going by who's got the best record.
Okay.
So if they did it that way, then the Mets would be in a 1-game playoff with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Right? Would that be more fair? I mean, if the three best teams are in one division and they play each other all the time, right? They're the three best teams.
Yeah, I mean,
so they may have to change it.
The problem is it's still an unbalanced schedule any way you look at it.
It's totally unbalanced.
You know?
I mean, it's ridiculous, and then they keep changing it. Now we're back to playing the Sox 4 times.
Instead of 6. And
like 2 at home, 2 in...
right.
But it's during the week, and it's 4 consecutive days.
They did that a couple years ago. And
they changed it because it was so unpopular.
Right.
Well,
so
let's go back to that.
Well, that's a tentative schedule. We'll find out.
Excuse me. Steve's got a cold, but, we showed up for the show anyway. Let's take our first break. We're going to come back. We'll go through the CDC results from Indianapolis a couple of weeks ago, some surprises there, and talk about where the CDC is right now. You're listening to Dirt Talk. Mystery Mark, Steve Pronunciation. We'll be right back.
The views and opinions expressed on Dart Talk are those of the hosts. They in no way should be misrepresented, misinterpreted, or made to claim that the universe is against you, your family, your city, or the darting community at large.
Hey, back for the second quarter of Dart Talk, brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
DartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I know we're late. Sorry about that. You got a lot going on. How you doing there?
Nothing started yet. We're fine.
Oh, okay. We'll talk CDC now. After that, we want to talk practice. There was one guy especially wanted my take on some stuff.
Practice.
I got to dig up that. Remember
Who
the one
needs
thing I
practice?
did? Yeah, I messed that up. Anyway, so the CDC was in Indianapolis. It was event 7 and event 8.
I had nothing to do with that. It's not my fault.
Dude, you're just killing me, man.
It's not my fault.
Okay, so you want to run here? Hang on.
Sure.
Okay, so these
You want
are
to do
the
7 or 8?
Well, why don't we start with 7 and
Yeah,
then proceed to
there you
8,
go.
and we'll
That would-
use chronological order.
Well, that would be but
To
you
keep
need to just
everyone-
scroll up for me to be able to do that. But
you got it?
yeah. So the round of 16, Darren Young beats Alex Spellman 5-3. Gary Mawson 5-4 over David Fathom. James Kinney 5-2 over John Part. Jason Brandon 5-4 over Greg Van Lynen. Larry Butler 5-1 over Corey Wendt. Ralph McCool 5-3 over Dan Lobby II. Mitch Payton 5-2 over DJ Sayer, and Trent Sumner 5-4 over Mike Putricelli. Is that right? Putricelli?
Looks like Petrucelli.
Petrucelli. So then in your quarterfinals, you got Gary Mawson 6-4 over Darren Young, James Kinney 6-3 over Jason Brandon, Larry Butler 6-4 over Ralph McCool, and Mitch Payton 6-1 over Trent Sumner. Then you go to your semifinals, James Kinney 6-4 over Mawson, Butler 6-1 over Payton, and Larry Butler in a close one, 6-5 over James Kinney.
Yes, that's event 7. So if you look at James Kinney, he knocked out John Part, Darren Young, and Gary Mawson.
Yeah.
That's a tough draw.
And Jason Brandon, right? Yeah.
That's a tough draw.
Right.
Jason Brandon, was he in there too?
James Kinney beat Brandon.
Oh, okay. I was
So
looking.
you
Okay,
missed-
Mawson beat Young.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
well,
no.
that's still pretty tough.
Right.
Part, Jason, and
Mawson. Right.
That's a pretty good finish. Huh. What else? What else you see there? Mitch Payton finally got deep.
Yeah,
I
I
think that's
see a
his
lot of the
best
people
result.
that were going further, like Fathom and Young,
Yeah.
were out in the quarters
Yeah.
or before.
Well, and
DJ Sayer's out, Fathom's out. Young made it to the quarters but lost, but those guys were going further.
I mean, you're seeing a lot of the same names. They're just kind of in a jumbled order, it seems, more often than not. Let's go to Sunday, to the next day.
Sunday, then you get top 16. Larry Butler beats Timmy Nickel. David Fathom 5-4 over Joe Cheney. DJ Sayer 5-1 over James Kinney. Couldn't muster that. John Part 5-3 over Ryan Morey. Or is it Morey?
Maury.
Yeah. Darren Young 5-4 over Kevin Yazinchek. Gary Mawson 5-3 over Dan Olson. Bob Sneed 5-2 over Mitch Payton. Jason Brandon 5-3 over Gordon Dixon. Quarterfinals. That's oh my God, the quarterfinals.
Is it your draft? Is it your pick?
No, there's
or is somebody else picked?
I think it's just getting ready to start.
This is great.
Nobody started yet.
Okay.
David Fathom 6-4 over Larry Butler. To start the quarters. DJ Sayer 6-2 over John Part. That's a big win for him. Darren Young 6-3 over Gary Mawson, and Jason Brandon 6-4 over Bob Seneve. And then in your semifinals, DJ Sayer beats Fathom 6-4, and Darren Young beats Jason Brandon 6-4, and Darren Young in the finals takes out DJ Sayer 6-4. That was a close match.
Yeah, what do you make of that?
Well, first of all, Bob Seneve wasn't in the first one. Well, he didn't make it to the top 16.
Right,
Yeah. They played better. And then, DJ Sayer had another good run. Darren Young, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, if
Darren Young DJ Sayers been in the top 4 a lot.
All but like I think all but 1 or 2 events. Yeah.
Darren Young played well and.
No repeat for James Kinney. He was out. It's kind of interesting when you start playing like Larry Butler and Timmy Nickel must have played like 1,000 times against each other. They both live in the same town. I think James Kinney's from Columbus or something. So, like he plays with DJ and Gordon and those guys. So
does he really?
Yeah, they know each other pretty
right.
well. Mawson and Dan Olson probably used to play a lot back in the day, I would think. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. It would have been. It would have been fun to watch, I guess. So now we have. I thought I had it here, but I will get after the break. I'll try to get the updated standings because this is not cumulative as far as where they are with the tour. So we'll try to get that. I wish I could have gone. This is a mess for me. And if anybody's in the chat room, if you guys are having issues aside from Mark's random audio, let me know because I'm getting some weird messages here again. I have not upgraded to Windows 10, and I'm deathly afraid it's going to break all sorts of things. So I'm reluctant to do it, but I may have to. I may have to.
That.
Well, I mean, the time to update your operating system is not 5 minutes before the show.
Right.
Right? So, I mean, you want to do it after the show or something. I mean, I don't know how long it's going to take. I from the little that I've read about it, it's a pretty big upgrade for us. Right? If you're already using...
Woohoo!
Did you draft C.J. Anderson?
Yeah.
Seriously?
I don't have a choice. I need a running back.
You don't need that one. Was Forte gone?
No, not yet.
Seriously? Well, because you think the Bears are going to be down 50 points, and then they'll not be able to run the ball.
Right.
They don't have a right tackle.
And Langdon's going to be in.
Oh, Langford?
Or Langford, whatever his name is.
I thought you liked him.
I do like him. I can't draft him in the first round.
Well, we put, in the background, we put the Soldier Field because the NFL starts actually tomorrow night. Right, what is it? Pittsburgh and New England play? Bears play Sunday morning against the Packers. I'm geeked up for that.
I'm going to get Forte on the turn back here, by the way, if you really want me to.
Oh, you think?
Sure.
Well, I thought he was better than
My
DeMarco
turn is
Murray.
Next.
I thought you just... Oh, because it's reverse order?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if you had Forte and C.J. Anderson, I mean...
But do I take Andrew Luck or Aaron Rodgers instead?
Well, you said it was a running back league.
For the most part, yeah.
Then don't worry about it. You can always get Ryan Tannehill. Okay. Did you take him?
Yeah, see, somebody just took Jay Hill from Cincinnati. So running backs go first.
Yeah, running backs go. Because you can't get them. Is Forsett gone?
No.
Oh, well.
I could take Forsett over Forte.
See, he was splitting carries. That was the thing. I mean, Forte's going to get 25 carries a game. And the Bears are going to be dedicated to running the football. So
all right,
Baltimore does is run.
Right.
Right? I picked him up on waivers last year. He was really good. But I don't know what the deal is with that team. They offloaded like...
God, I have a hard time turning down Aaron Rodgers right now. Because he won't be back when I...
Well, you know what? Then take him. Take the top quarterback, and then you'll be able to get Justin Forsett or somebody or, whatever.
Well, no,
I don't know what the point system is.
Those running backs will be gone.
Well, I don't know what the point system is as far as like,
Well, it's hard to explain right now.
Okay, well, we're doing a show,
I know.
I know you kind of showed up and you're committed to this, but we're probably boring our listeners to death.
Talk about something.
Yeah, well, here's the thing with the CDC. I mean, I was really excited to play in it. I had a great time going down to Dayton for the first one. But, my game and, everything that's going on this year, nothing is matching up for me as far as being able to, go out and play my best.
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
I mean, so, with everything, I started the year off hurt. on the DL, right, and played anyway. That was dumb.
Sure.
And I literally, well, I don't know where we are in time because I did start practicing again, and I wanted to talk about.
We got a couple minutes. We can take a break right now if you want to start.
Are you caught up or what? Who'd you take?
I took Aaron Rodgers. It'll be the death of me.
Probably. All right. Well, we're going to take a very. This will be a quick break, and we'll come back. We'll start talking about putting the wheels back on. You're listening to Dart Talk with Mystery Mark, Steve Ponselmo. We'll be right back. If I can find the button. The button.
Dart Talk agrees to adhere to the Geneva Convention in treating fairly its prisoners in their war against lackluster darting administration and behaviour.
Okay, back for the second half of Dart Talk, brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I apologize for Mark this week. He's not even drunk. I don't think.
No.
I was late, I know. You had a little extra time.
No, I was worried.
Is that Tito's handmade stuff? Is that good?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe I should have just given you the bottle.
You didn't give any of it to me today. That was Sunday.
Well, I kind of was thinking maybe I should, you can come over and have it, I guess. I don't know. Rambling. So, guess what's on sale for the month of September, which I found out today.
Where?
At the Diversey Driving Range.
Buckets of balls.
Yes.
On sale.
They're on sale.
For the whole month.
They usually cost me $16.
Mm-hmm.
And for the month of September, they're
$16
$9.
for 100 balls?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is that good? I don't know.
Yeah,
I can walk.
It's not bad.
It's like 1,000 steps or 1,300 steps.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Kind of. Anyway, so I go there, and the lady's like, well, I don't know if you knew it, but in September they're on sale, and I'm pretty sure I was like, wait a minute, today's the 9th. I've been there. They were charging me full price or something. I don't know. It was weird. So she's like, so you want 2 buckets? And I'm like, I don't think I can swing that many times.
Right.
Right? So as it turns out, the wind was blowing in about 25 knots, which kind of screwed everything up because I brought a couple of clubs so I could hit those, specific targets. There's a 125 flag, a 165 flag, and a 205 flag.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I brought, if I stand on one side, I can hit the 205 flag if I bomb a 5-iron. But, if I'm a little in front, so fine. Well, I couldn't get the pitching wedge to the 125 flag unless I totally stepped all over it. I couldn't get the 5-iron to the 205 flag. I could, so I had to. Then you start going across, right? So I'm on the left side hitting to a flag on the right, and it's just like got me to thinking about, when you play darts, how do you align yourself? Because I'm convinced that the biggest problem people have dude, you're killing me, man.
The biggest problem people have, I'm listening.
Yeah. The biggest problem people have is how to consistently align yourself with
Yes.
your dart in the dartboard.
I would totally agree with that.
So
because once you make one adjustment,
yeah,
and then if it doesn't work, how do you get back to the original way you were playing? Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, bad alignment causes you to do all sorts of things that you really shouldn't be doing just to deliver the thing online. And if you look at a lot of the professionals, they always stand in the same spot. You can't really do that with golf. But what I noticed was if I don't want to be Sergio Garcia, but if you go through a consistent pre-shot routine in golf, you're much likelier to get consistent results than you are just kind of going up there and setting your club down, getting your feet.
For the most part, I've seen enough golfers that can do it, but I agree with you. Not a long routine, just
you got to have something methodical.
Yes.
I mean, if you look at a professional golfer, they approach, they stand behind their ball.
Right.
Well, yeah. I mean, how do you aim? I mean, they stand behind their ball, they pick a spot, they look at their target, they visualize their shot, right? And then, once they, take their grip and they get the club down, it's a relatively, simple process.
Right.
Right. And then they just try to put a good swing on it, right? And try to hit it solid. Well, if you take the same approach to darts, what's the most important thing? I'm thinking, because we've run the gamut
other than your setup?
It's all in your setup.
Yeah.
If your setup is bad, you're almost doomed to fail. And that's what kind of cracks me up about some of the guys that like to walk the line when they play cricket. Right?
Yes.
And I guess maybe it isn't so much where you stand, but it has to do with you keep the same arm angle
I don't think
on everything.
I would agree with you. I don't think it's where you stand. If you can move and still keep your body positioned in the same spot.
Well, your arm.
Yeah.
In relation
in
relation to the target and in relation to your eye.
It's the same as rocking back after you miss a dart.
It depends on when you rock.
Right.
You're talking about your back foot rocking, like a counterweight,
like
or
you throw it,
like you recoil.
You step off the line, like boy, that stunk, and then you go back because you don't necessarily go up into the same setup again, right?
Well,
some people can do it, but for the most people that back off the line aren't going to be.
You're usually doomed, and there's reasons for that. But when it comes to like guys backing off and resetting on a double, if you do that in practice all the time, then I can accept that you would do it in competition, right? But if you're practicing, however many hours or minutes a day, and you're taking outs out, and then you if you got 80 out and you go like single 20, double 10, then when you're playing, you should do it the same way. Right? You shouldn't be taking these pauses and stuff like that. So I started to address my the setup issues, and I flashed to this thing that happened with one of the Utes. And I don't know where it was. I don't know if it was in Huntsville or Virginia Beach maybe last year. So I was just throwing by myself on a board, and there was some like little kid like jumped on the board next to me and started like whipping his darts in there, and he was kind of dressed up like a little mini darter, had some sort of dart shirt on, and he seemed like he was paying attention and stuff, and he kept staring at me, right?
Okay.
So finally I'm like, hey, how you doing? You want a tip or something? And he's like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, all right, let me see you throw 3 darts. And so he throws 3 darts, and I'm like, okay, I got a tip for you. So I guess I was at a tournament where we were using markers on paper, like Flair, ink markers.
Yeah.
So put your arm up like this. I drew a line. Well, see, more like that. I drew a line on his arm with the marker directly down the center of his forearm and said, okay, that's your tip. And I figured he could figure out why I did that. Now, I'm not sure if he ever did, right? But the idea is if your setup is such that you have a straight line here like a gun sight and a kind of karate chop motion.
Go ahead and do that again. You're with. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that how you throw?
Yeah, my wrist ends
Are
up
you actually
cocked like this.
Really?
Yeah.
It might be better. I can't throw like that.
Yeah.
I've always
I
kind
can't.
of like this. But, if my forearm, if the line on my forearm, where's the camera? If the line on my forearm is straight here, I can't, the mic's in the way.
Move the mic.
If this, well, then you can't hear me talk, can you?
Well, might be a bonus.
So if this line on my arm is straight,
right,
like the half of a gun sight, I tend to throw very well. When I start to get a little tilt in there, which I do sometimes, that's when I miss left. So I know this about myself.
I can see that.
Right? The problem is, I spent so many hours, really trying to get very, very good at double 16 that when I go for double 16, I tend to get that little tilt. Right? So if I miss it to the left, I'm like, oh, okay. It's almost the same way as like you're eliminating the right side of the golf course. If you miss, you're going to miss left.
Yeah.
Remember how I used to say
But
people don't know how to miss?
So wouldn't everything be line up like this and then move?
Well, in theory,
towards your target.
Your shoulder.
Yeah.
Well, no, you would keep that line the same.
Well, yeah.
So
moving your shoulder.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Or I guess it'd be your torso more so than.
Well, you don't have to move that much though. You're just moving a little.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And then down to get to the double 16, right?
Well, if you look at a guy like Taylor, when they're shooting at the bottom of the board, they lean a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They lean at the waist a little bit. So now you're getting your angle down to where it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the idea, and I think what most of the Brits do is they calibrate themselves on the line between the bull, the trip 20, and the double 20. And that's why, you see a lot of guys playing 170 and stuff. The idea is that those three spots on the board have to be automatic.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Well, that makes sense.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, for sure.
So I go up to practice. This is the sad part. I go up to practice. I'm like, all right, let's make sure you're aligned, right? And my hand is sore from all the golf balls, right? But I can still throw. So I go up and I go like single 20 low, single 20 high, trip 20 in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, another ton, ho-hum. And then I just stopped and I was like, wow, how many darts am I going to throw here? The idea when you're practicing is you have to have enthusiasm for practicing, right? You have to throw with energy, and you have to throw with conviction, and you have to throw with a purpose when you practice. If you're just aimlessly chucking darts at a board,
that's one of my problems.
That's why you don't practice. It's no fun.
I get up there and you kind of concentrate for about 5-10 minutes, and then 15 minutes into it, you're like, I just lose interest.
See, I'm the other way around. I'll be like, I'll do the, take out 80, then take out 81, then take out 82, then take out 83, and go up to 120. And then go back down.
Yeah, but the difference is you're
118.
better. So if I did that, I'd be stuck on 82.
Well, no, so you could do it, but you could do it from 40.
Right.
You could do it from 40 to 80 and go back down. It's the same thing. It's working on your finishing.
Mm-hmm.
Amir Abdullah, seriously?
Yeah.
That's officially the bottom of the barrel, isn't it? Is he a rookie?
Yeah.
Oh, God. You taking rookies?
He's playing for Detroit, man. They're going to win the division.
They're gonna outdo the Packers.
Yeah.
Without a Dominican Sue.
It's their year.
What do they got? Haloti Nada?
They got a good defensive line, man. I'm just telling you. I'm just going by what these guys are picking them.
Yeah, don't. Okay. I played fantasy football last year, and I thought about playing it this year, and I was like, you know what? I just don't care. The NFL has kind of lost me.
See, in years though, everybody drafts running backs, and there's not going to be many remaining. So, and I've gone away from that, and it's never worked. So this year, I'm stocking up on running backs.
If you look at the point system, you have to have like 2 running backs.
So I'm stocking up on running backs.
Okay. Well, you got a quarterback.
So I now have 3 of them. I got a wide receiver, and now I could get another.
Oh, you took Brandon Cooks?
Yeah.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Jonathan Stewart, don't do it.
No?
No.
Why not?
He's going to retire. He's terrible. He's been splitting carries, and the guy can't. No. Are you serious? Get the backup. Get one of the Texas guys. Get a Dallas guy. Who's the backup in Dallas? He'll get a lot of yards. We're going to take one more break, and we'll come back and wrap this show up. If anybody's still listening to Mark's fantasy team. You listen to Dart Talk, Mystery Mark, Steve Pananciamo. We'll be better next week, I promise, and we'll be right back.
Warned that you consume this show at your own risk, and that Dart Talk cannot be brought to justice in any court or by any government, including and not restricted to the grand spaghetti monster of the Triple 20.
Okay, back for the last segment. Dart Talk brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
TheDartZone.com is an official console distributor. I'm going to try to get us a new guest next week, somebody that hasn't been on the show. So if anybody's got suggestions on, because we've talked to everybody under the sun at one point or another. I don't know, who's the show leader in appearances? Like Anthony, Eugenia?
Probably.
Yeah.
Pete Terra, maybe.
Yeah, he's been on a few times. We'll try to get somebody new on next week. Yeah, so the practicing thing, here's where I'm at now as far as like practicing, and this is coming.
Well, you're practicing more golf than you are darts. But I agree
No,
with you.
it's the concept of like...
I know, I was just going to say that it's kind of like cross-training to an extent.
Well, what it is because I used to do it. I used to play golf all the time. I used to play 4 or 5 rounds a week.
Yeah.
When I was in my 20s.
Right.
Technically, I'm still in my 20s, but so the idea now is step 1 is to get your arm loose, which is I think what everyone does anyway.
Sure.
I think the problem some people have is they try to start actual, quote, practicing and hitting things before they're loose. And if you do that, what tends to happen, and this happens all the time when you're practicing, is you miss, and then you start trying to make these little micro adjustments because, maybe it was this, maybe it was that. That's how you get all out of whack.
Right. I totally agree with that.
So the first thing you have to do, and it's different for everybody. Like part of it is how often you play. Part of it is sheer fatigue. I've heard guys say, "Oh yeah, I just got back from the gym and I was lifting weights," and I was like, "Yeah, really? Well, you're not going to have much feel today, right? Because everything feels different when you're after a workout and stuff like that. So it kind of depends where you are, physically as far as what
I don't
it
know.
takes to.
Back when I was finishing concrete, and if I had a rough day of hard labor, then I'd have to play darts that night.
Yeah.
It was just, like the first couple darts you threw went through the board.
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden, an hour later, you were tired.
It's funny how that works. I mean, I have had days where, and it's usually like at the beginning of a tournament, especially where I've got a lot of zip on the dart. I'm not trying to throw hard, but they're banging in there pretty good. And then you play all weekend, and by Sunday it's like, oh.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I'd play like a Friday night singles or something, and I'd get up Saturday and I'd stand in front of the board with 3 darts in my hand and just be afraid. Like, I don't know how much this is going to hurt, but okay, let's, and then you're already being tentative, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So sometimes, I'm starting to wonder, how much beer muscle has to do with it. You know what beer muscles are, right? I mean, so, a lot of people, if you're a local league player and stuff, warming up consists of, going to the bar.
Right.
Right? I usually, what I'll do is I'll practice sober because I think I get a little better feel for, like, where I'm at, where my arm's at, how I'm feeling that day. I used to always decide, is this a tops day or a double 16 day kind of thing? Which one, as I'm warming up, do I feel more confident in throwing at?
Okay.
And that's the other thing about practicing that people have to watch out for. I mean, if I understand people want to get better and stuff like that. Know when to stop practicing.
Right.
Nothing is worse than and again, this is something that, from cross-training on the range. I do this. It takes me a long time to get through a bucket of balls. It ain't like the old days. But if I hit 2 or 3 bad shots in a row, I stop. Because whatever's creeping in that I'm doing wrong, I don't want to commit that to muscle memory. If your darts start flying all over the place, put them down.
Take a break.
Walk around the block or go, wash your hands, talk to the bartender, pet the dog, I don't know, do a load of laundry, whatever. Just stop. When you're playing good is when you should really be like, okay, let's say you play like a league match and you play really good. When the match is over, you should keep throwing. Just stay on the board for 5 more minutes and commit to muscle memory, whatever it is that you're doing right. And by far the most valuable time to practice is right after a match, win or lose.
Yeah, it's hard to do.
Well, you stay on the board.
Sure.
At any dart tournament you go to, you can stay on the board. Just don't tell anybody who won. You can keep the board. I've done that where I've said, "Yeah, let's play a couple more legs. It's first round. It was over quick. We're not gonna." Seriously? Wow.
I'm loading up on running backs.
Well,
he's going to be rookie of the year, man.
Yeah. If he's healthy.
Right.
He's got a broken knee.
I know.
Okay.
Did you ever see him play?
Yes. He's a monster.
He's a monster.
He was from Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got the body for it.
I'm hoping to get Sammy Watkins back in 4 picks.
Sammy Watkins. Yeah, who's throwing to him? Who's playing quarterback for Buffalo?
Tyrod Taylor.
I swear it's like
Virginia Tech.
Buffalo's football team is every year it's a science experiment. I could.
He won the
coach ought to wear a lab coat.
Yeah.
This is terrible. Where was I about the practicing thing? Yeah, so that's the best time to practice is right after you play a match, and you make it. It's pretty easy to do that. It's pretty easy to stay on the board for 5 minutes.
I could get Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. You're not gonna. Did you get what's his face?
Who?
I don't know. You said Sammy Watkins.
No, no, he just went right before me. I didn't get him.
Okay.
I could take another running back.
Did Mike Wallace get traded? Is he still with Miami? Mike Wallace is a number 1 receiver.
No, I think he's gone. See, I've been able to
Okay.
follow
it's hard to do the show
so
and
I don't
follow
know.
your fantasy
I have
draft.
no idea
it's
who's
not
left
easy.
right now at this moment in time.
Makes it hard to pick.
Yeah. So,
okay. As far as practicing goes, that's the best time. You should always try to at least replicate tournament conditions. And by that, I mean, I know it's like, let's say you're one of these people that comes home after work and throws. You need to figure out a time when you can get up in the morning and roll out of bed and throw for 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes you got to play in the morning, right? Sometimes you know what I mean? Try to play in the afternoon. Most tournaments you have to play in the afternoon. I mean, work this stuff out where you're throwing.
Well, that kind of makes sense.
Different times,
right.
During what's the opposite of a sleep cycle? Like your awake cycle. You should you should always try to practice a little bit in the morning. You should try to practice a little bit at night. You should try to practice in the afternoon. I mean, work this out somehow.
Right.
I mean,
like you said, though, even if it's only 15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean,
pick up the darts.
Get up 15 minutes early.
Chuck them for a little bit.
And just, all bleary-eyed and what have you, and just do it. I used to love getting up in the morning, having a cup of coffee, and hitting the board. That used to be so much fun. Mm-hmm. I haven't tried to do it in a long time. The other thing that I would say, if you want to start practicing, is, use a little common sense. Start marking some spots. When it comes to your setup, be aware of where you are. It's not hard to lay down a ruler or something and see exactly where you're standing. When you go to tournaments and I've seen people mark a spot on the standard where they want to stand. I've also seen people take their shoe and rub it off. So.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't recommend that. I'm just saying, it's hard to do stuff like that. I mean, the one thing electronic players, most of the time, their Aki consists of some tape that looks like a ruler, so you can always kind of step in the same spot. But there's other places where you don't have something like that. So you need to be able to replicate where you're standing in relation to the board when you go on the road. People are like, oh, I play so good at home, and then I go on the road. Well, maybe one of the things is, where you're standing at home, but you're aware of it subliminally, and you wore out a footprint in the carpeting. So obviously you know where to stand, but you don't know where that point is in relation to another dartboard. Right? And so let's say you're standing 1 inch off.
Yeah.
Right? 1 inch is a lot.
Yeah.
You think, guys like Phil Taylor don't know where they're standing?
Is all black, and you're not going to be able to.
Yeah. So
if a half inch off.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing it by eye, I mean, how accurate are you going to be every single time? Mm-hmm. Right? Stuff like that. And to be honest with you, everybody's got a smartphone now. Have somebody video you and go look and see if you're doing something that strikes your eye as being a no-no. Look at your tempo. Do you know what golf tempo is? I had to explain this to somebody.
Do I know what it is?
Yeah, golf tempo.
I guess
when you're working with tempo in a golf swing is a specific. It is.
I wouldn't know the exact definition.
Well, when you talk about a golf swing, tempo is the pause between the end of your backswing and the beginning of your downswing. Right. Darts generally, the tempo is very, very slight, but you will see some people with longer tempo than others, and you'll also see people, like if you look at somebody and it looks like the dart is rushed, they got a little quick in their tempo and let go of it a little early. That's something that you can work on without really practically aiming at the board. That's a total feel thing. But if your tempo is consistent, you'll always deliver the dart. It's much easier to hit your release point when you're using the same tempo all the time.
Well,
It's
yeah,
kinda
that would make sense.
Something for people to be aware of, when they're just kind of chucking their darts. When one feels good, and this is the hardest thing about teaching yourself to practice, because let's face it, I mean, that's what everybody kind of has to do, is you have to stand there and play and yet have enough self-awareness to know what you're doing, right? So if you stand at the board and just say, I'm going to just throw at bullseyes and don't worry about whether or not you hit them, but just focus on the amount of time it's taking between the end of your backstroke and the beginning of your forward stroke, and just kind of pay attention with that, and then see what happens.
I have a hard time with that.
See what happens if you add a little bit of a pause. See what happens if you start the dart back a little slower, right? And then what's the most comfortable way for you to do it? And, to experiment like this can lead to great results as far as improving your game. It's easy to kind of like, write all this down and say, and, check this box and that box. But in reality, everybody's stroke is personal and somewhat organic. So you have to understand the concepts and then how those concepts are integrated in your own stroke, and then examine the concept in your stroke and see how it's working for you. If you're playing well, don't do any of this.
Right.
If you're playing well, just play. If you start struggling, though, these are things that you can look at to kind of gain some consistency and maybe figure out what you're doing wrong. A lot of times, you can't do anything once you're playing. If you're missing to the left, move over an inch. If you're missing high, lean over an inch. That's all you can do while you're playing. You can't really, am I this, am I that? Don't get all technical and stuff. That'll kill you. Okay, we'll take suggestions for a guest next week. Just email them to darttalk@gmail.com. Don't post them on the Facebook page, please. Just email them. Please, everyone's got email. Or you could tweet it at Dart Talk. I had some good stuff for Twitter today, and I didn't have time to put it up there.
Really?
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
No, I got a squirrel with an acorn in its mouth. That was kind of a bummer.
Really?
Now it's officially fall. Well, the kids were going back to school, and I'm walking to the driving range, and there's a squirrel, and they're friendly. It's like, not enough little kids chasing them around. The squirrels are kind of bold in the park.
Well, yeah. Sounds like it.
Hopefully I'll be over this cold next week, too, and we'll start on time. We'll be back at 8:30. Our apologies for the delays this week. You got anything?
No.
Going to any tournaments this weekend or anything?
No.
Okay.
No, I got my club championship in 3 weeks.
3 weeks. We should get out and play. I'm dying to play a round of golf now.
Yeah, I'm working on that. Hopefully maybe next Tuesday. This Tuesday would have sucked. It rained all day.
Oh, right.
So we would have been SOL, but...
We needed a break. It's been really warm.
Yeah.
It's like the warmest September on record up to yesterday.
I know. It was mild all summer, and then all of a sudden September is just hot. And it's going to get hot next week, too.
Oh, good. All right, we'll have to figure out where to play. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We will Dart Talk to you all next week. Everyone take care.